Welcome to another edition of the Black Wealth Experience podcast, as well as the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight podcast. And so today we're doing dual duty. We'll get up on both of these. We have Lilly Richardson in today, and she has been a real estate staple here in our community for a while now. And so I'm so excited to have her, because not only is she really good at the folks who are getting ready to buy a house, the new homeowners, never bought a house before, walking them through, holding their hand, making sure they're okay. But if you're thinking about moving, or if you're thinking about getting a second house, or you're thinking about, the expansion of what real estate means in creating generational wealth, she is the one that you get to talk to. She also does estate planning like I do, where we go out and we help folks with a living trust so that they can pass on the legacy that they created here to their heirs, and they can make sure that they're doing that without the state being involved and that kind of stuff. And so we really kind of want to dive in today on some of the things that not only that she does, but what we can do to help our community. She comes from a faith-based background that really has helped a lot of folks in their ministry achieve home ownership, as well as just folks in the community don't think that they can do it. I think when I think about Lilly, I think of just a belief structure that you walk into with not knowing what's possible, not knowing if you even believe it, and walking away from Lilly going, I can do this. And so, Lilly, thank you for being on today. We appreciate the fact that you're here, that you want to be on here, that you're traveling, you're speaking, you're talking to people, and taking the time out for us. Can you just start out with telling people how they can get a hold of you if they need to?
First, thank you so much for having me on this platform. It's just great just seeing you do your thing and helping to spread the word out to the community. I am Lilly Richardson, and I am a Denver native. Was born, raised, bred in Colorado, the Mile High city of Denver. And I've been in real estate since 2005. And I believe I was destined to really go into real estate, long before that, because, the stars aligned to get me prepped and prepared. And what I mean by that, before even being licensed, my husband and I, we were asked to partner with a friend of ours in the mortgage, on the mortgage side of business. And so started doing that and seeing how that was a tremendous blessing to help a lot of people in our community get homes. And then after I left corporate America in 2005, my husband said, you know what, you should consider getting your license. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me go ahead. And I'd heard all of these horror, stories of how hard it was to pass the exam. There are two parts. And so I just really set my expectations high. And I said, I'm going to bank on me. I'm going to learn all that I need to learn, because I'm wanting to help a lot of people become homeowners. And fast forwarding, when it came time to take the test, I was grateful to the stars above and those that helped me to study. I passed with flying colors the first time. And so after that, got engrafted into real estate, wanting to learn everything that there was to learn about it. And once people knew that I was in the business, then that's when they started coming from all around, wanting to buy a home and what do I need to do to get prepared, kind of thing. And so, I love it. When I did start in 2005, I had several people I helped to get into a home. And then 2008 hit. And everyone knows about the 2008 crisis, and so business slowed way down, and people, owed more for their home than what it was worth. And, a lot of foreclosures going on. So I put my license in an inactive status for a while. And then things start building back up again, because we became the first state to legalize marijuana. So everybody wanted to flock to Colorado. And so a lot of my colleagues saying, you need to go and reactivate your license, and we need help in this force. A lot of people are coming and wanting to buy homes. And So I just had a passion for really wanting to bring along more home buyers, particularly in our community, and to be in the just be in not in the limelight, but to be in the I can't think of the word. I'm thinking of the coalition or whatever, to help all of my other agents, to help us push for Black home ownership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we think about Black home ownership and thinking about the fear, a lot of the real estate agents that I talk to find that there's this fear that somehow if I try to own a home, then I'm going to fail. Therefore, I shouldn't try. What would you say to somebody who comes to you that just says, hey, Lilly, I'm scared. I've never done this before. My parents didn't have a home. My grandparents didn't have a home. The community I grew up with, nobody had a home. And I know it's something I should do, but I'm just scared. How do you navigate that?
I think the first way to navigate it is to let's address your fear. Mm-hmm. Is it fear of failure, fear of success? Let's look at some things and then just really try to do a lot of hand holding and educating. Because a lot of times, we can be fearful of things that we're not knowledgeable of. And so as we address that fear with knowledge and awareness, some statistics, using some testimonials, because I do have, a few families that I have helped, that were fearful and that I don't think, is for me, or I think I'm just destined to be a renter. My mama rented, my grandmama rented, and so it's educating them so that you can get them in the mindset of that you can. Okay. And that is possible. And so not just talking about it, but being about it and showing them real life situations of how others have done it.
Yeah, it seems like, once you get folks in those conversations, and I love what you said of utilizing folks that have done it. I had a person call me, same thing. I'm scared. I've never done this. Nobody in my family has. And I reached out to another one of my buyers who had just recently purchased the house and asked her to just call her. Just call her and tell her your experience, because the experience can be overwhelming. The experience can be scary. But once you've gone through it, it's just a whole different mindset of what's possible. Not only on the real estate side of it, but what's possible in life, right? It's one of those stepping stones that you seem to think. So you've been doing this and you've learned some things over years. What kind of things that I know you're exceptional at what you do, that you've learned that you could pass on to folks that are maybe thinking about it, or folks that are wanting to move? Is there anything that you can say that kind of sets you apart, other than just call you, that they can kind of get them in the right mindset? Because it's more of an emotional, full purpose decision. It's not just a transaction. Not when you're spending this much money, right?
Well, I think for me, it's about staying ahead of, the rest by educating. That's why they tell us agents, you have so many hours that, you're wanting to have continued education in, so that what the market is doing and get a glimpse of what happens next. And, it's just like in anything, I ran track, I played basketball. And so in order to be a part of success and to run with the best, there's a process. So you've got to, do the exercise, and you've got to eat right and all those things. So as an agent, I'm wanting to, read what's going on, have my hand on the pulse of the economy, just looking at things, going to classes, talking to people, and then passing that knowledge of my experiences, my personal experience as a homeowner, and those around me, passing that along, doing, not just doing enough to get by, but going above and beyond, because if I'm out there to help a community of people who have never been a homeowner, they're fearful and all of those things, then I'm going to bring tools and things like that that'll help them be successful as we're walking through the process of home ownership. Hey, there's a summit coming. Why don't you come join me there, or not just meet me there. Let me come pick you up and we go there together. So I'm walking them through the process. I'm reminded of a program that we had in my church. This was maybe about 15 years ago. One of the ladies that was over our youth, the program, I don't even know what she called it, but she said, I want the young people to be able to know what things that they can look forward to in their future, 10 years, 5 years from now. So here's what we're going to do in the summertime. And I was licensed as a realtor. I want you to take them to a house, like a fixer upper that's just, shammy in a bad area. And then I want you to go and take them to a home like, a $4 million home. And of course I had to, go through some hoops to get, to show them that. And so when they saw that, it's like, well, this is an opportunity. You can live in this kind of house, or you can live in this kind of house. And what is it going to take to get into those kinds of places? Well, you need to, have this kind of education. You need to make this kind of money. You need to have this kind of credit score, so on and so forth. And so then it's like, okay, this is how they do it. So they had knowledge at that teenage level and not waiting until college level to know, okay, I don't know what to do, or I'm going to continue to do what everybody else has mirrored or has modeled before me. And so I thought that was a great, great program. And so I think to make the difference is you're doing those types of things that you can present to the community by way of education, where you're modeling it. You're not just talk and presenting letters, but come and get in the car and let's go and learn together. Let's go and see some homes. What does it take to get into a home like this? That kind of thing.
Oh man, that is so cool. And I see what I'm hearing is there's a community mindedness in here. There's a sure. Not only do we want to do the transaction, because that's what you get paid for, right? That's how you make a living. But there's something far beyond that. It's not just I do the transaction and then we part ways and we never see each other again. It's how do we look at the generation that's coming up and then create legacy for them? How do we move people through this process? And it sounds like with you, it's not just, hey, we do this one home. It's moving into how do we think about investment properties, or how do we do, what are some of the things that set you apart a little bit, in the way that you interact with your clients and the things that you do for them, that would make people say, yeah, I want to work with Lilly because she does these things differently or just does them, period.
Well, and thank you for clarifying that. It's all of what I've mentioned, but it's also keeping that relationship strong, where it's not just a transaction and then you move on. You are staying relevant. You're building that relationship with your clients, and if they have children or grandchildren, where you are being an influence in their lives as well. One of my, I have a client that, and I don't know how we connected. It might have been through just a referral, perhaps. And I did several transactions with her, but not just her, also her son. And so when you build relationships like that, you're making the difference where you're having influence, not just with that client, but their families. And then having the opportunity to offer other things. And you mentioned early, I'm not just a realtor, realtist, but I also help people to show them how to, all that they've acquired, how to hold on and build legacy wealth. So now that we've showed you how to buy a home, buy an investment property and all of that, how do you hold on to that legacy wealth? Well, now we're going to begin to educate you about an estate trust. What's that? Oh, I have a will. Well, no, it's not just the will. Then you start educating them through that process, just like you do at your seminars. And I think that is so beautiful, where you really break it down, and it's like, I need that. So it's not just about acquiring all these wonderful things on this side of eternity, but how can I safeguard that so that the next generation and the generation after that is able to experience this wealth.
Yeah, sometimes I see, especially in our community, where we'll see, a grandma or a, grandpa, and they've had their house and they were able to purchase a house, and they'll say things like, well, I brought them in the world, they ain't getting nothing when I leave, or I can't take it with me, but they're gonna have to figure this out. And then I really start thinking about those comments, and realizing that the parents that really love their kids, if they're saying that, it's because they don't believe they have it. They don't believe that there's anything left. If you got this small piece of property or apartment, I'm not giving them nothing because you really don't have it. It's the ones that have it, or if they did, they would do everything they possibly could to make sure that those kids get everything when they're out, when they're ready to leave, and when they want to leave the world, because
absolutely,
that they love their kids that much. And so what I see in there is somebody who's hurting, that doesn't realize, where they need somebody like you or I to come in there and kind of say, hey, this is what you can leave as a legacy. You can leave this, and this is how we do it, and this is how we put it together. Because that education portion is so important to make sure that they have those things. How many people I'm not even saying how many people, but what kind of conversations do you have with folks that are kind of in that mindset that they don't believe they have anything to give? And then how do you help them, show them that there is a little bit that needs to be given away?
Well, we look at their assets. It's like, well, I don't have much to give. I'm just gonna give my house to my son or whatever. You have plenty to give. Let's look at what you do have, because when we start having that conversation, then we may discover, well, they may have a house. It might not be a multi-million-dollar house, but then, they're a retiree. Do you have a 401k or IRA or pension? Yeah, I have all of that. Well, let's sit down and then count up the cost. Those are things that you can begin to invest into yourself, where you can live now, and then you can take that little bit, you put it in a trust so that it continues to be the gift that keeps on giving, to your grands, to your great grands. And it's like, wow, I didn't look at it like that. I just thought, I just signed, this piece of property, or this, this Model T or whatever over there, and that's it. But when you sit down to count the cost of all that you're worth and what you have, if it's over $74,000, yes, you want to put it in a trust. And even if it's not, you still want to be able to assign those things, and say what your wish is. Because I run into too many families, whether they have assets that, that meet that 74,000 mark or not, and usually it's more than that. They haven't thought twice about, well, if something happens to me, then where does my stuff go? Well, it's going to go to probate. Well, no, I have a will, and I said it's going to go to, XYZ. And then I have to begin to educate, and so, and it's when they have those aha moments, or wow, I didn't know that. Then that's when I can really go in and do some deeper teaching. It's like, what, let's set up an appointment and let's make this, let's make this legit, so that you can have a security of all of your stuff. And then it's going to help loved ones afterwards to not have to stress out about, well, I don't know what my parents will want me to do with this investment property, or who gets this house, and all of that. And just really making the difference of, training and all of that. And my personality is I'm a giver. I love to serve people. I'll give my last, but what I'm wanting to give is something that's going to be well worth the weight in gold, and that's the experiences and the information that I have. If I'm not using the information, I certainly can't pass it on to others, but I'm using everything that I have and then passing it on to others. So,
yeah, no, I hear you, because when you start talking about generational wealth and you really start talking about what that legacy means, the education has
right.
to be there, because it isn't like our parents have been
Absolutely.
talking about it for hundreds of years, like maybe some other families that are not part of our culture do, but it's that beginnings of, this is what I have, this is what I would like to have before I pass, and when I do, this is what I want to make sure passes on without interruption. And I think that that's so important. And what I'm hearing, and which is really kind of cool, is it's about the person. It's not about the transaction. It's about the personality. It's about the
Absolutely.
relationship that somebody can count on when they go see Lilly Richardson. It's, I don't think that you spend 5 hours total with, a client from start to finish. It's more like,
No,
this is a lifetime
over time.
relationship, and we're going to get to, the house might be just one of the first transactions. And that's why I love having folks like you on the show, is because I want people to realize that the real estate business is still relational. It's not, if all it is about what an interest rate is, or how well can you negotiate some terms, then I think we're missing the mark. It's too big of an investment for that person to just get into it and then try to figure it out on their own. And I want to thank you for that. That we're doing that. What do you think about our market right now? People say, well, it's a terrible time to buy a house, or I gotta wait, or that kind of stuff. What is your thought? Somebody comes to you and says, I really want to buy a house, but everybody's telling me that interest rates are up and I shouldn't buy a house. What are your thoughts to those conversations?
I would tell them it is always a good time to buy a house. And then just put a question, because my mother would always say, never ask a question with a question. But be like, well, who are the they and why? And if you're saying they say it's not a good time to buy a house, what would make you believe that it's not? Because, I'd have to go spiritual on them, because I serve a God that says I can do all things through him that strengthens me. And so if he's given us everything that we can, where there's a will, there's a way. I've seen too many times people get homes, and I use the testimony of my parents who bought their first home at 18% in interest rate. And granted, the house was $50,000 for a 4-bedroom.
The salary that they were making was commensurate, I'm sure. Yeah. Wow.
But you know what? It's just the economy is stabilizing, but it is always a good time to buy a home. If you've gone through the process, we've gotten you here, and I'm try to be a one-stop shop person and have a team that where the person doesn't have to look for a mortgage lender, doesn't have to look for the realtor. I'm it. Don't have to look for a title company, but I'm, it's all encompassing. So when they come, it's like, let's just, do a litmus test. Since you think it's difficult to buy a home right now, let's do a litmus test. Let's go through and see how much house you qualify for. And then let's just look at see what kind of a payment that you can have. Are you renting right now? What are you paying in rent? Let's take that, and then we'll put that on one side, and let's see what kind of a home that you can come up with. And then you tell me if you think it is not the right time to buy.
I love it. I love it. And I love where you. Yeah. Yes, we will do a comparison. And I love where you said who, you said, they said, and then say, don't ask the question with the question. Yeah, who is they? Because usually they is a person who has never purchased a house, who is not a homeowner, that is watching the news, heard something, or the they is the person who already got their house and figured that they got it made, and so what they're going to help you but they already did it,
Exactly.
right? They're not thinking, they were thinking the same thing when they went to buy their house. I don't know anybody who's like, oh yeah, this is the best time to buy a house. The best time is right now.
Absolutely.
If you can get into it, because those apartments, 100% interest. You know, you rent an apartment, you're spending $25,000, $35,000 a year on an apartment that you get no equity in. You're spending over a 10-year period, $300,000, $400,000, where you could have bought a house. Even if it was at higher interest, you still could have bought a house. And so they are the people who are stopping folks from getting their dreams. And so a person like you and I who are sitting here saying, no, you can do this. You absolutely can do this. You deserve this. That is part of what it means, at least for me, what I see in America is that ability to be able to have that American dream. But the thing that people miss is the part where we say, let us help you. Let us help you understand the things that you don't understand. We do this for a living. We do this every single day. You know, maybe you're working at you're a hairdresser at a beauty salon or something. You think, well, homeownership is not possible. And then you go on that side of town and all the hairstylists own homes, right? Or whatever it is that you're doing.
And have investment properties.
And have investment properties. Absolutely. But so we don't want to stifle your dream, but we want to help you be able to do it.
Exactly.
And, Lilly, I thank you for being on here. You're going to be on my podcast several times over time. And as we come up with other subjects and that kind of stuff, I hope you'll come back.
Of course.
But I still want you to tell people how to get a hold of you. How do they contact you? How do they do business with Lilly Richardson?
Well, the way you can do business with Lilly Richardson, you can go to my website, lilly.richardson@exp.com. You can contact me at 720-515-1641. You can contact me on Instagram. Instagram is Lilly Sells Homes. Lilly R. Richardson on Facebook, and you'll see my wonderful, lovely face there. So there are several ways that you can get in touch with me. If you're looking for a church home, you can go to my YouTube channel. We're virtual right now. And it's called My Father's House International Christian Discipleship Center. We're all about empowering people. We're empowering people spiritually, mentally, physically, economically. And I am wanting your dream home to become your reality. And so I am empowering people all around. And so I am the realtor that you are looking for, and not just to get you into your natural home, but that realtor that will prepare you for your eternal home as well.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being on.
You're very welcome.
Again, folks, you can do this. You deserve it. Let us help you. Give us a call because we want to do this. So just finished another episode of the Black Wealth Experience podcast, as well as the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight. And so thank you again, Lilly. I can't wait to have you on the show.
I can't wait to be back.
All right. And we'll look forward to talking to you guys soon. Have a wonderful day.
Excellent.
This is Brian Arnold, and if you are listening to this part, you've just watched one of our episodes of the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight, where we've just talked to one of the best of the best. And I want to thank whichever guest that was here. They are phenomenal. They are amazing. They are the top of the top, the best of the best that are in our industry that are here with us today. And so I encourage you to please call them, pick their brains. They work for you. They enjoy working for you. They are incredibly good at it. And so I want to make sure that you give them a call. So whoever you listen to, whichever one you saw that you were there, please do that. The other thing is everyone deserves a home. Everyone deserves a home. I say that at the end of my show. You deserve it. Let us help you do it. My goal is to make sure that we see homeownership. It just sickens me to see apartment complexes continue to go up, because I know those are people who haven't been able to make the call or figure out a plan. So let us help put that plan together for you. I have some websites that allow you to do that, and I'll put those in the bottom, but please do. I am a lender. I do work in the lending space. If you do not already have somebody who's pre-qualified you, I would love to be able to have that opportunity to earn your business and qualify you. My number is 720-682-2223. That's 720-682-2223. Give me a call anytime, and I would love to be able to help you with that. We also do living trust. And so when we think about an estate, to try to avoid probate and make sure that doesn't happen. So whether it's you, if you own a home, and you should have a living trust. And I will say that everyone, not just deserves it, everyone needs a living trust if they own a home. And then finally, just wanted to thank you for watching these episodes. And so please tune into more. Would love for you to see and be able to shop around. So thank you for doing that. Again, I want to make sure that you know that you can do this. You deserve this. And let us help you make it happen. You guys have an awesome, wonderful, awestruck, incredible day today.